a nice, calm, quiet, relaxing week 1, right? What is up, everybody? I am Sporty Jordy. If you're new here, make sure to hit that subscribe button and find me on all of my other socials at The Sporty Jordy. And now it's time for our middle of the week therapy session. We've had a couple of days now to process our emotions, try and make sense of what happened this weekend, because a lot happened. 2 overtimes, a tie, missed field goals, game-winning field goals, division rivalries coming out of the gates hot, upsets galore. If you were in a survivor pool this weekend, I feel sorry for you. There was no mercy in week 1, I can tell you that much. So now that all is said and done, before we jump ahead and take a look at week 2, let's talk about some of the teams that are leaving me with the most questions right now, and there are 5 in particular. Cardinals, Rams, Vikings, Broncos, Giants. Yes, the frickin' Giants. Let's start with the Cardinals because I was expecting some fall off from them from last season. The Cardinals losing this game to the Kansas City Chiefs is not what shocks me. It's the fact that they were under complete and total domination for 4 quarters straight. They did not stand a chance. Kyler Murray was under pressure basically this entire game, and he's missing his number 1 target. And then the Cardinals defense had no answers for the Chiefs offense. And this is a Chiefs offense without Tyreek Hill. And I want to make this very clear. I understand that it is only week 1, and it's okay if the Cardinals have some kinks that they have to work out. Obviously, playing without D-Hop is going to be a struggle. Their defense going up against a very intense offense is going to be a struggle. We all know that Patrick Mahomes is the best quarterback in the league. There's really no argument there. I mean, freaking look at his numbers from this weekend. 360 yards, 5 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. Like, the man's superhuman. Who knows, though? Are we just getting a reverse of last year where they start off really shaky and then keep climbing higher and higher? Let's actually just talk about the whole NFC West for a second. So the Cardinals get embarrassed by the Chiefs. The Rams, reigning Super Bowl champions, get embarrassed by the Bills. The San Francisco 49ers get embarrassed by the Chicago Bears. And then you just have the Seattle Seahawks that no one besides Seahawks fans had any real hope for. I know I didn't, but apparently it's Geno Smith season and we all just have to get behind that. The Seattle Seahawks were the only NFC West team to get a win this weekend. What? That statement alone is enough to lose sleep over. If you had sat me down before the season started and told me that this was going to be the case, I would have personally put you in a white jacket and strapped it myself, and then probably tossed you into the padded room just for safe measure. But no, this is reality. This is really where we're at right now. And I need to circle this back to my original point before I get way too far from that. The 5 teams that I'm most confused about, the Cardinals are definitely on there. The Rams are on there, but the 49ers and the Seahawks aren't. Why? Perfect. I'm so glad you asked. I would love to tell you. I doubted the Seahawks and they proved me very wrong in week 1, but why didn't they make this list? Because I'm still doubting them. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. But listen, I think it was a really fun win. I think Seahawks fan base really needed that. My bar for them was so low, though. I had them winning under 5.5 games. Now they're starting off the season 1-0. So check one of those off. I think they may end up being slightly better than I was anticipating, but I still don't expect them to be this good team. I still don't see them being a playoff team, and that's why they didn't make this list, because I'm not that confused by them. I'm excited they got the win, but it doesn't change the outcome of how I think this season is going to go for them. Was that English? The 49ers are not on this list for the same reason. Yes, they lost. Yes, they lost to the Chicago Bears, but how can you judge someone's performance when they're literally playing in a typhoon? I think it's monsoon. What is a typhoon? A typhoon is a mature tropical cyclone that develops between... What? All right, so what's a monsoon? A monsoon is traditionally a seasonal reversing wind accompanied... All right, well, they played in a lot of rain. Either way, the playing conditions were awful. That field was beyond horrific. Elijah Mitchell paid the price. And that was Trey Lance's first game being the set starting quarterback. So that loss doesn't automatically make me think they're going to be a bad team. I'm going to need to see a lot more awful football from them for me to be like, yeah, I'm totally out on the 49ers. Also, nothing made me happier than seeing Justin Fields get a win. The Cardinals, I'm definitely a little worried about. The Rams, I'm honestly a little worried about. They did not have the look or the feel of a strong team at all. There was no O-line. They borrowed Harry Potter's invisible cloak. Matthew Stafford was laying on the grass, and the few moments that he was standing didn't look that promising. He looked old. He looked tired. He looked worn down. And I always look at him as being this durable quarterback, which sounds ironic because he actually does get injured a lot, but he fights through these injuries. They never seem to be these major setbacks for him. So when all the rumors were flying around this offseason about his elbow, it's a quirky injury for a quarterback and he's in a lot of pain, I was like, yeah, but it's Matthew Stafford. He's going to be fine. And he did not look fine. So yes, the Cardinals and the Rams did make my list of teams that I'm the most confused about after week 1. And next, we have the Minnesota Vikings. This team drives me absolutely freaking nuts. I can never figure them out. Never. They looked incredible. They looked absolutely incredible, which is why I'm so confused. People are like, oh, the Vikings are going to the Super Bowl. Kirk Cousins is winning MVP. Are they? Are they actually? And they have to play my Eagles next week in prime time. Let's be real. It's prime time. I'm not that worried about Kirk Cousins. I'm kidding, kind of. Vikings fans are going to hate me. But no, the Vikings were a team that I thought was going to be good this season, but I didn't think they were going to be phenomenal, and now I have no idea what to expect from them moving forward with this season. So that is why they're on my confused list. I guess we'll see what happens. And finishing off this list, we have the Denver Broncos and the New York Giants. I'm not worried about the Broncos team. That roster is so talented. What am I worried about? Your freaking coach. Personally, I think they should have fired him right there on the sidelines week 1 of the NFL season. When you elect to go for the second longest field goal in NFL history with Russell Wilson as your quarterback, who you just paid a crap ton of money, they had all their timeouts. Every timeout. All of them. They had every single one. Even if Russell Wilson could not get there and the game ends and you lose, you can at least look yourself in the mirror and say, okay, we put ourselves in the best position to win. Because if Russell got that, which Russell Wilson easily could have, I know there were some bad moments on the goal line, whatever, but this is still Russell Wilson. That was their best chance at winning that game. And their head coach just said, nope, we're not going to do that. Awful, awful. It was so awful. One of the worst play calls I've legitimately ever seen. So yeah, that is why I'm nervous for the Denver Broncos. And the New York Giants did sneak their way on this list for literally the complete opposite reason, funny enough. Is Brian Daboll all of a sudden just going to be able to coach this scrappy team to success? The Titans were one of the teams that I really didn't have huge expectations for this season, but I still thought they would comfortably beat the Giants. And they were comfortably beating the Giants until the Giants fought for their freaking lives. And then guess what? They won. And I know we can make the argument they won because of the missed field goal. I get it. But still, they put themselves in a position to win, which is more than the Denver Broncos could do. The Giants are definitely not a team that I would say scares me after week 1, but I'm a little bit more intrigued to how their season is going to look. I'll give them that. Eagles are still comfortably winning the NFC East, though. And I'll admit it, I'm a little annoyed about the Dak Prescott injury. First things first, no matter how much I hate a team or how much I dislike a player, I will never root for anyone to get injured, ever. That is awful. So yes, the Dak Prescott injury is unfortunate, but honestly, I'm more upset because I wanted to beat the Cowboys fair and square this season. I don't want to beat your backup quarterback. I don't want to win the NFC East when Dak Prescott misses majority of the season. I mean, I do. I shouldn't say it like that. Obviously, I want to win the NFC East, but I can just already hear the commentators and the Cowboys fans, and honestly, NFL fans in general, that if the Eagles do have an impressive season, they'll be like, oh, well, it doesn't count because the Cowboys weren't completely healthy. And I don't want to hear it. So frick you, Dak Prescott, for getting injured. But hey, at least I can comfortably say that the NFC East is not the laughingstock of the NFL anymore. I think we can comfortably give that title to the AFC South, considering not a single one of these teams could get a win in week 1, and 2 of them played each other. Like, what? I still can't believe they tied week 1 of the NFL season. And there were 2 other teams that I think you could argue could fall on this list, but I personally don't think they belong there, and that's the Bengals and the Packers. Both of these teams lost horribly. Divisional games. It was embarrassing. It was awful. It was ugly. I'm running out of synonyms. But I'm still not worried about the longevity of these teams. That was a big word for me to pull out this late at night when I'm so tired. The Bengals we watched in real time as they started to turn that game around. Jamar Chase was absolutely phenomenal. Joe Burrow looked bad, but that O-line looked worse. I do think they're going to be just fine this season. I still think they're a playoff team. I just think it was a rough start. And you know what? Let the Steelers have this win because their entire team literally died to get it. So let them have this moment because the rest of the season is going to be a little rough. And yeah, the Packers also looked straight up god awful. But again, This is Aaron Rodgers. Now, if the Packers come out week 2 and lose to the Chicago Bears, then they will definitely be added to my little list. But for right now, it's Aaron Rodgers. I'm not going to worry about him. But I hope the Packers realize why everyone laughed at them when they drafted a linebacker and a defensive tackle in the first round of this NFL draft. Okay, I'm just going to end the video right here so I don't have to give any week 2 picks. Oh my God, all of these games are awful. All of them. And by awful, I mean they're all fantastic. Every single game, flip a coin. Everyone. Thursday Night Football. Chiefs versus Chargers. Are you freaking kidding me? And God, what an awful start to the season for the Chargers. They had the Raiders week 1, who they comfortably beat, so that was fine. But now the Chiefs. 2 divisional games to start off the season. Why? But I will still I'll give 1 underdog, 1 favorite, and 1 moneyline bet for this weekend. Before I do that, though, I want to tell you this story. I got so lucky with my survivor pool from week 1. So I joined a normal pick'em league, and then they told me, they were like, oh, there's also a survivor pool component to it. So I make all my weekly picks and then I make my 1 survivor pool pick. So I was like, cool. And it's like, if you get knocked out of the survivor pool aspect, you're still in the weekly pick'em. So I was like, okay, the survivor pool is just extra. And I looked at all the games and I was like, all right, these are so competitive. So I was like, frick it, I'm taking the Dolphins. So I took the Miami Dolphins playing division rivals, New England Patriots, as my survivor pool pick for the week. And I literally submitted it. My friend was like, this is bold. This is bold. And I was like, I know. But the Patriots just can't win in Miami. And now it's officially confirmed that Tua himself is just Bill Belichick's kryptonite, which I think is absolutely hysterical. So yeah, fins up. And because week 1 was so crazy, there's only 33 people left in that survivor pool now. So I'm feeling good. Yes, I am trying to procrastinate and giving out picks for next week. No, this is really bad. Okay, my underdog pick for this week. This is fitting considering I torched them for a majority of this video. I'm going to take the Cardinals +6. They're playing the Raiders, who definitely did not look as bad as the Cardinals, but they still didn't look great. And like I said, I'm very confused about where the Cardinals are going to be. So I think this is going to be not a make or break game. You can't have that in week 2. But I think it's going to be important for us to determine where they're actually going to stand moving forward. I don't know. I just feel like the Cardinals and the Raiders are a little bit more evenly matched than a 6-point spread. I definitely think they have a chance to cover. So that's going to be my underdog pick for week 2. My favorites pick? Oh my God, the Giants are favored over the Panthers. I don't want to do this, but this is the only game that is really, really speaking to me. I hate betting on games where I love both teams because it just hurts my heart. And the Dolphins really, really, really helped me out this week, but the Ravens looked very impressive to me. And they're 3.5-point favorites, which I think is a really nice position for them to be in. So I'm doing it. I'm so sorry, Dolphins. I never want to root against you. I love you, but I do think the Ravens can win by 4 or more points this weekend. Okay, so far we're taking the Cardinals +6 versus the Raiders, the Ravens -3.5 versus the Dolphins. And then my moneyline pick, we're taking the Eagles. Kidding, obviously. Am I? No. Yes. Gannon, please step up our game on defense or get the out. I really hope my Eagles defense is sitting and watching that Packers-Vikings game in slow motion and looking at what the Packers defense did and then learning from it and doing the complete opposite on the field. Why did no one want to cover Justin Jefferson in that game? How did you think you stood a chance at winning if Justin Jefferson is open the entire time? Wide open, blatantly open, in your face open. Yeah, Eagles defense, do not do that. No, as much as I do want to tell you to take the Eagles money line, do it. I'm not going to do that, but I don't know if the pick that I'm giving you is much safer. The New Orleans Saints are home underdogs versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and I'm going to take Saints money line +125. Both teams are coming off of a win. The Saints was more of a nail biter. Tom Brady has a really hard time playing the Saints in New Orleans. I don't know, divisional matchup, I'm going with the underdog. And as much as I make fun of the chaos, I really hope week 2 is as wild as week 1 because I love it. Football is so back. Keep up with all of my live reactions on Twitter at TheSportyJordy and get some extra content on TikTok and Instagram with that same handle. How are you feeling about your team after week 1? Let me know in the comments down below. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and I'll be back next week. And all I'm gonna say is I hope these kickers were practicing this weekend.